Meet the phenomenal Chinese weapon in the form of a boxer who is a reckoning force in the ring. At the immaculate age of 40, this gigantic heavyweight boxer stuns the world, and most importantly, his opponents in the ring, now famously known as the Bing Bang, which perfectly articulates the sheerness of his might. The Chinese boxer, Zhilei, is an incredible specimen with an incredible story in the world of boxing. A heavyweight boxer standing at a towering height of 6 feet, 6 inches, and 255 pounds. Despite being in the heavyweight category, this boxer still manages to scare his opponents with his size. While most boxers come to the end of their careers at the age of 40, this is not the case for Zhilei. At the age of 40, Zhilei still stands strong at the peak of his powers, with hopes of becoming a world champion. Zhilei holds an impressive record of 26 wins, with 21 of them coming by knockout. Zhilei edges closer every day to a big confrontation that will skyrocket his status through the roof. Today, we'll explore the secret of this Chinese superstar and discover the truth behind this phenomenon. Zhilei was born in 1983 in China. The boxer was always a standout figure, as he stood at 6 feet, 1 inch, merely at the age of 13. This caught everyone's attention, and young Zhilei never went unnoticed. Initially, Zhilei had a passion for rowing and began indulging in the sport at a very young age, but soon his height became an issue for him, and he had to leave the sport behind. In China, boxing wasn't a sport encouraged by most, as many lacked the physicality required for it, but this was where Zhilei stood differently from his fellow citizens. Zhilei began to train in boxing. In 2003, he secured the title of Chinese boxing champion. The following year at the Asian Games, Zhilei displayed his potential as he secured a podium finish with his bronze medal. This made him one of China's biggest athletes. When the 2008 Olympic Games came, China believed heavily in Zhilei to secure them a gold medal. His early fights saw him win convincingly, cementing the expectations his country had of him. Zhilei progressed and had his shot at the gold medal in the final when he faced the formidable Roberto Camarelli. Gold was not to be for Zhilei in China, as Camarelli won the fight by knockout in the 4th round. His silver medal placed him among the 4 celestial medalists. Despite his homeland not being a place passionate about boxing, this didn't reflect on Zhilei, as his passion and hunger for boxing were incredible. Zhilei began to show significant progress as he won a gold medal in the following Asian Games as compared to his bronze the last time. That same year, he followed up his success with a bronze medal in the World Championship. Zhilei was growing his reputation as a boxer with lots of potential. Zhilei set his eyes on the next Olympic Games in London. But his journey ended way earlier than expected when he lost his second fight to the eventual gold medalist of Great Britain. Finally, in 2014, Zhilei began his professional boxing career as he signed a deal with Dynasty Boxing Promotions. On August 8, 2014, he made his professional boxing debut against Curtis Lee Tate. This fight sparked a lot of comical reactions, as the fight ended prematurely in the 1st round. A harmless punch to the shoulder saw Tate fall to the mat. Zhilei's opponent could find no strength to stand up, and therefore our protagonist won this fight by knockout. This win motivated Zhilei, as he began an impressive run at the start of his career. He dispatched all his opponents with ease and even defeated the American Galen Brown. 3 years after his professional debut, Zhilei had an impeccable record of 13 fights with 13 wins. 9 of those wins came by knockout. The international stage was where Zhilei grew his reputation. Often underrated due to his country of origin and their involvement in boxing, Zhilei proved his doubters wrong on every occasion and began to gain respect for himself and his country on the international stage. Often seen as the underdog, Zhilei often proved his doubters wrong. The Chinese boxer faced the prominent and skilled Joe Joyce twice, and he knocked out both times, showcasing he's a force to be feared and staying true to his nickname, the Big Bang. Age hasn't proved to be an issue for Zhilei, as contrary to popular opinion, the Chinese get better with age. Let's take a look at impressive victories from Zhilei to witness the might of this Chinese boxing weapon. Many often talk about Zhilei's professional debut, suspecting foul play, as many are still in disbelief at how quickly he dispatched his opponent with a punch to the shoulder. Some also chose to question the referee's decision to end the fight, but it stands in the past now. The next year for Zhilei was the Indonesian David Kosvara. The mismatch was glaring, and the fight could only end one way. Kosvara was way shorter than Zhilei and looked way out of shape. Zhilei fought with confidence, dominating the ring and boxing Kosvara to the corner. Kosvara struggled to make threatening punches as his reach was minimal. Zhilei increased the intensity of the fight and delivered a swift combination to Kosvara's head that saw him plummet to the mat. Pressured by the countdown, the Indonesian stood up, but it was evident it took everything in him to get up. The unforgiving Zhilei pounced on the helpless Kosvara, and the Indonesian fell to the floor again. This time he could go no further and remained on the mat. Despite being a mismatch, Zhilei showed characteristics that showed his potential to spectators. Zhilei fought for the vacant WBO Oriental heavyweight title against Peter Graham. Physically, this was the best opponent to stand against Zhilei so far in his career. A cautious approach was employed by both competitors. They kept themselves at a distance from each other. In one round, Zhilei delivered a powerful hook that saw Graham fall to his knees. Despite looking disoriented, Graham summoned the strength to stand on his feet. But the whole dynamic of the fight changed after that incident. The Chinese began to pounce on Graham, and the Americans fell to the mat. The referee began the countdown, but Graham made no effort to get up. This sealed another impressive knockout victory for the Big Bang. Against Mark Brown, Zhilei secured an impressive first-round knockout. Next up was upcoming boxer Curtis Harper, who was looking to name for himself against Zhilei, who was rising in rank. Zhilei started aggressively, giving his opponent no time to find his footing in the fight. The second round saw our protagonist turn up the tempo as he sent straight punches that connected with Harper's head. Stunned by the battering, Harper took some seconds to regain himself and prepared to continue, but the referee wanted no more. Another knockout by the name of Zhang Zhilei. Zhilei's first title defense was against Don Hainsworth back on September 28, 2017. From the ring of the bell, Zhilei started like he always did, taking control of the center and imposing himself aggressively. Hainsworth focused on his defense and waited for an opportunity to pounce. As the fight progressed, more action followed. The second round saw Zhilei knock Hainsworth down with an impressive uppercut. The third round saw Hainsworth fatigued. This was Zhilei's chance to capitalize, and so he did. The referee had to intervene and stop the fight, as Hainsworth was helpless under the attack of Zhilei. A technical knockout was awarded to Zhilei. The biggest fight for Zhang Zhilei came against WBO interim belt holder Joe Joyce in London. The Chinese were perceived as underage, as he was considered to be older as compared to his adversary, who was younger and in the form of his life. Zhilei defied the odds and took home the victory as the fight came to a close in the sixth round after Zhilei inflicted several blows to the head and face of Joyce, which bruised Joyce's eye. His adversary's vision was impaired, and the fight ended in a technical knockout to Zhilei. A rematch was scheduled later that year in September. Zhilei aimed to defend his title against its previous holder. This time, the result remained the same, but Zhilei won more convincingly as he sent Joyce to the floor in the third round. After a countdown, Joyce remained on the floor. Another impressive knockout for Zhilei. Zhang Zhilei may never be a world champion, but his spirit and ambition have echoed through the boxing world, and especially in his country, China, inspiring younger people in his country to take up the passion of boxing. Zhilei has also shown that age doesn't matter regarding success. It is never too late. Thanks for watching our video today. If you liked the video, please subscribe for the hottest boxing content out here. We have more boxing videos coming your way, so be on the lookout.